Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 890 of FloWrestling Radio Live on an icy Wednesday here in Austin, Texas. That's no matter for Dean Rader or myself. Ben Askren and Shane Sparks would be laughing at this weather, but here it's a big deal. You get a little precip,
Shane,
gets a little chilly.
Shane.
People get a little nervous. I will say this.
If this show goes out in the middle, we lost power.
Power has been flickering the entire morning since we've been here. So it's ice. It's not snow. It's thick. There's like probably a half an inch of ice frozen on everything. So
it's going to take down the power lines or what?
It
has.
Yeah, places all over Austin.
Kozak doesn't have power. A bunch of people don't have power. The Pyles and the Raiders do for now. And so does our offices here in the Springdale studio. But we got a lot to get to. I mean, what a show we have, and we're lucky enough to have Shane on today. He was at the Duel of Duels last week. I'm sure we're going to get into that. Maybe we start with that. Should we start with that, Shane? Just your overall thoughts on the duel, being there at the venue. Take it away.
First things first, Penn State, nobody does it better than them as far as putting on a presentation of an event. I mean, they are so good. They are on a level by themselves. And one thing I'll just go on this quick. The one thing they do that I think is so important, like awesome. And I don't know if high school teams ever do this. They probably don't, and it's probably just harder to do. But they brought in the 2013 team, recognized them. They had the dance team was there, the band was there, the Rose Bowl team was there, and I think there was another team. And what they do is they bring them up on the stage, but what it does is it brings in probably like 200 extra people to the dual meet. It's just such it's just, to me, they just do such a good job marketing there. So that's quite frankly what really stood out to me more than anything is how good of a job they do. But obviously with the wrestling, I think the wrestling was, I always hate predictions, as you guys know, but that match was pretty predictable, I think. Outside of Marco Vispa coming out and taking Spencer Lee down out of the gate, that got my attention.
That was not on my bingo card either.
Yeah, not on my bingo card either. But, Roman Bravo Young gets the big pin at 33, 41 and 49 those were the two matches I was super intrigued by. Iowa gets both of them. 57, you knew that was going to be close. 65 was going to be close. No Abe Assad, so that made a difference. As far as what the team score ultimately was going to be. And then I think for me, Max Dean and Kirk Fleet dominating was, that was probably another one of the big takeaways. Those were, I don't want to say they weren't competitive. That wouldn't be fair, but those were dominating wins for those guys.
The bar for dominance has definitely been lowered if Max Dean dominated Jacob Warner.
Max Dean did no takedown.
He did not score a takedown.
He didn't have to.
I know he didn't have to, but it's not. If you can't take someone down, it's not dominant. If you can't turn them,
it looked like a dominating. I think you can dominate somebody 2-0.
I strongly disagree.
Yeah,
I think you can win the match. I think
define domination like Jacob Warner never had. There was never a Jacob Warner is going to win this match moment or could win.
Honestly, if you read the definition of domination.
Go
listen to this.
Someone read the definition.
He said, you're going to hate it, Ben, because it's going to sound like the exercise of control over someone or something, or the state of being so controlled. He just kind of controlled the situation. I think that about sums it
up. And let me ask you, Christian, in that, and I'm just talking about, and I love Warner, but in that particular match, that fits the billing. And my guess is, Christian, that there's with that definition, there's a picture of Max Dean riding him. I'm just assuming there is.
No, there's not. There's not.
He dominated him.
Warner was all but away. I still maintain he was so close to getting away.
He did almost get away one time. No, guys, 2-0 is not domination. Otherwise, pretty much 90% of wrestling matches are 2 points or more because you can only win by 1 point. That's the only point margin less than 2 points is 1 point because you cannot tie someone. So the notion that a 2-point win is domination is preposterous.
Come on, Ben.
No, Shane, you come on. I'm saying 10 points is domination. Maybe you could convince me like 6 or 7, like close to a major, but no, it's not domination.
Friday night's performance, Max Dean dominated that match.
He didn't get a takedown.
Roman Bravo Young to me was
that was domination. Aaron Brooks, that was domination. There's examples of domination, and Max Dean was not it.
I would say domination is like your opponent can't do anything against you to the positive. Yeah. They can't score. They can.
Well, to your point,
it's not even like,
and you can, and also on the other flip, you can do whatever you want to them.
Okay, yes. There you go.
It's not even like Max Dean was able to turn him over.
Okay,
or get really close.
I'll tell you what. I'm a reasonable guy. I will tell you.
No, Shane. I'll tell you this. You are actually
him in
not
the top position.
Dominated
him in the top position.
You still think Anthony Robles?
Ben, no.
He changed his mind.
Moratorium.
He changed his mind.
No, there's a moratorium.
You're not reasonable.
On all Robles
That's my
things.
case in point, Shane. Unreasonable Shane. That's what we're calling all of them.
He dominated him in the top position, but we'll move forward. I mean,
but he didn't even dominate him because listen, if I can't turn someone, I will tell you my personal standards. If I can't turn someone, man, I'm disappointed in myself. That is not domination. Let alone put him flat. I want to put him flat. My guy KB Kurt Backus was on Twitter saying a tech ball should be more than a pin. The only reason these losers tech ball people is because they can't put their shoulders down. That's it, guys.
Losers,
you can put their shoulders down. You would never get the 15 points because you got their shoulders flat.
Don't name call. Don't call people.
Yeah,
losers.
I mean, he turned him last year. Obviously, didn't turn him this year. But I mean, those two matches were.
But think about this, Shane. Let me even. I'm going to take this a step further for you. So the essence of folk style wrestling specifically is I can dominate you to the point where I can put both your shoulders on the mat. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. I'll put them both flat. The referee will say 1, 2, pin, it's over. Okay. So in order to get near fall, you got to get halfway there. You got to turn them from flat on the mat on their belly to 90 degrees, get them a little past it. The ref then will start counting. Max Dean couldn't even do that. He couldn't even turn him halfway to a pin.
Yeah, I was impressed with Max
halfway. Couldn't even turn him halfway over.
Max Dean's riding is his anticipation, his pressure, like he's going to be a tough out, man. I mean, obviously, understatement. The most obvious statement of the show so far, but it was good. Now we'll see what kind of adjustments they make in the next month, leading up to Big Tens.
Oh, for sure. But there was so the ensuing conversation after the duel was about the sort of lack of scoring, lack of activity, and that kind of trickled into the Coaches Brands' press conference.
I loved it.
Yesterday.
13 minutes of pure gold.
It's good. I don't know. Are we gonna play it? Do we want to play it?
All 10 minutes?
I sent it to
No, not the whole thing. The very beginning was about the. So, well, you'll just listen. He gets asked if they should change it to freestyle.
All right.
All right.
Questions for Coach? Hey, Tom, I just want to ask you a little more about last weekend. A record number of people watched it on television and that type of thing. But 5 of those 10 matches were basically decided on riding time. There's been a lot of talk about should rules be changed more to create more offense so guys aren't just riding, that type of thing. And I want to know your thoughts on that.
So I would ask a question on your question. How would you change the rules?
It would go to more like freestyle.
Freestyle is action-packed, huh?
Well, again,
I'll tell you what, you got a tournament that is like sold out with 20,000 plus. And you're going to tinker with rules and go to freestyle?
Well, again, I mean, are you okay though that there's not as much?
I'm not okay with a little bit of scoring ever. Wrestling's a tough sport. We want to promote scoring. We want to promote action. I don't think promoting action's the solution. I think promoting scoring is the solution. I think it starts right here with the philosophy of the program. Tough situations, sometimes they get really sticky as far as points being scored. And that's a job of a coach or an athlete to blow the doors open. To react and go to freestyle is a silly solution. I look at the best wrestlers on the planet. They gather in Las Vegas, and there's 3,000 people watching them. I mean, we have the best wrestlers on the planet, and it's deep. These brackets are deep, and there's 3,000 people watching, and it's freestyle. And I'm not taking anything away from freestyle. Freestyle's done a great job of changing their rules. You know, they kind of got off track there with the 2 out of 3 period wins, and when there were 2-minute periods, and but you'll get a strong opinion from me that riding time needs to stay, 7-minute matches need to stay. College wrestling is strong, evidenced by the television.
I think that's probably good.
Yeah.
So, well, I have a lot of thoughts. I know Shane has a lot of thoughts.
Let's hear them.
Well, one, my first thought is I don't think anyone. I think there are people that would like to see it change to freestyle, but I think that's a really, really small number of people. I think what the majority of people are actually asking for is not switching from folk style to freestyle, which I have to say I think would be a disaster because there's a trickle down not only NCAA, but I think there's a huge scholastic impact that would be to the negative.
Yes.
One. But two, the main thing is all we're asking for actually is just some subtle changes, little tweaks, sensible movement towards the direction of offense. You look at the NFL, okay, for years, all they've been doing is making subtle. They haven't thrown out the playbook. They've added changes to make it so it's easier to score. So more scoring is thing. They put the fans first and said, hey, people don't like these 9-6 run the ball defensive struggles, right? They want to see offense, okay? Major League Baseball, one of the most tradition-rich things. They're getting rid of the shift this year. They're not letting you stack 7 people on one side of the field so you can get this guy out. They want more hits. They're saying, hey,
why not? That seems that's terrible.
Hold on. Let me go. You know why?
Terrible.
You know why? Because fans, people like Shane don't like it, but fans, the general audience that you're trying to please hates it. Okay? They're also having a pitch clock because these superstitious pitchers take forever to get rid of the ball, throw the ball. These are all decisions rooted with offense, scoring, and fans in mind. So these are the things that those sports are doing. And all we're saying, we're not saying switch to freestyle. We're saying you shouldn't
stalling on top.
You shouldn't be able to run out of bounds with impunity. Okay? That's what we're saying. You shouldn't be able to just sit on an ankle or just ride on top and no points. No one likes it. No one likes it.
I agree.
There's very little argument that people like the riding just to ride. That is just not, in general, very entertaining. And that's a broadly held view. So I think to change it to a freestyle, I think he's right. Yeah, no, you shouldn't change it. But also, you can't correlate. Do you think that NCAAs is sold out because of the style of wrestling that it is? No, that's not it. You have these giant athletic brands behind it, and you have Penn State and Iowa and these huge, huge programs. And yeah, it is wrestling's Super Bowl. It is the best event, but it's not because of the amazing rules of folk style. I think there is a portion of it, and I think there is a portion of the fan base that if it switched to freestyle, they'd be like, I don't really know what this is anymore. But I think it's somewhere in between. No, you don't change it to freestyle, but we should be a sport that is making changes along the way to improve the product for fans. And I think that there's no real argument that just riding on top with no intention of turning is not good. Is not a good product. And you could say, well, get off the bottom. Okay. Yeah. Now you sound like the Little League coach that just says, get up. Right? It's not that simple. It's not that simple. So that was my thoughts listening to it.
I don't really disagree with anything you said. So
wow.
We can move on, I think, if you want.
Oh, I know Shane's got a couple chambered.
Shane does not concur.
Well, a couple things. I love everything he said in that. I mean, there's not one thing that I would disagree with what Tom said. One thing I love more than anything, and again, this is just kind of my life philosophy, and it's, again, maybe it's too much. Like, honestly, I mean, I think too much of anything is probably not a good thing, and I got too much of something in me, and that is figure it out. Okay? That's how I'm wired. I will always be figure it out. I will always be look in the mirror and fix the problem. And I do agree with him that it does start in that room with the athletes, okay? Because here's the couple things. I'm going to go on. I'm going to try to, first of all, with that match in particular, okay? That match in particular, you got, and there weren't, I guess, there weren't any 1-2 matchups, but when you look at Iowa, real quick, Spencer Lee, no issues with scoring. I know DeSanto's gone. He was
Are you
there
sure he's not? I don't think Spencer's that good at scoring.
Yeah. You got, I mean, Real Wood scores points.
Okay.
Mirren this season has scored more.
Stop.
I'm just giving you, Ben, I'm just giving you facts. I'm just giving you. So
there's no facts here. In big matches.
Cassiope's been pinning a lot of guys this year. Abe Assad has scored quite a few points. Patrick Kennedy scored Ben, look at this. I mean, these are facts. Yeah. Okay? Those guys score points. When you look at Penn State, RBY scores points. Kirkleet scores points. Aaron Brooks scores points. Starachi doesn't score a ton of points all the time. What I'm saying is, like, you can't take one dual meet and be like, oh, man. So now let me say this. How come, Ben, and I don't remember every match of your career, but yeah. I'll throw you into this group.
Do it.
Jason Nolf, Zane Rutherford, Bo Nickel, David Taylor, Ed Ruth, Ben Askren. Like, how come the great guys don't? How come? I'll take two things. How come the great guys don't have issues with it? And to take it one step further, how come guys like I just mentioned in folk style or freestyle, they score points in both? I think it really is the athlete's mentality. I think that's 75% of it is the athlete themselves, like going out, taking risks, not being afraid to give up a takedown. Like, I think it's 75% the athlete. And yeah, the rules, yeah, sure. But like I said, you take all the good people, they all figure it out, they all score, regardless of style. I think it's more of a mentality.
So, what do you think? Well, I don't know exactly which point I'm arguing with, because I don't necessarily disagree with anything you said there. So obviously, when there's skill discrepancy, like so when Max Buren, who wrestles someone who sucks, he scores. Shane going out. Do you see that? You good, Shane?
You keep going, Ben.
Can you hear me?
Let Tyler
look at his
out.
face. It's so funny. It's so distracting. It's like, what?
I'll come.
Shoot. Oh my God, this is awesome. Look at him go. What in the world? That should be a meme.
I don't even think that's a glitch. That's just Shane's
that's how he's moving right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shane's
when there's a large level of skill discrepancy, it is easy to score points. That's why when you mention say me or Nickel or Nolf, there's a large skill discrepancy with almost anyone, and we can go out and score points. It's when things get a little bit tighter that people they clam up and they're more adverse to taking risks. So Max Buren hasn't had more than a 2 takedown match against a tough opponent maybe in the last 5 years. Right? It just doesn't happen. Against someone who sucks, he'll go get them. And the same thing can be said with Jacob Warner, Abe Assad. A lot of these, so Iowa's style in particular, and unfortunately, a lot of the Penn State guys are falling into this trap too, is set up to minimize risk by only doing very simplistic moves and not being able to wrestle through positions. And so when they do wrestle against someone really good, it's very, very difficult to score because it is hard to get the other good position out of the other good person out of position enough to make it so it's easy to score points, if that makes sense. So yes, Max Buren is scoring points against guys who suck, but when you put him in a match against someone good,
and they don't suck. I hate it when you say that.
Okay, suck in comparison to the level of competition that we are dealing with. Okay, is that one guy is a top 10, top 12 guy, the other guy is a number 80. That's a large discrepancy in skill. But when Max Buren hasn't had more than 2 takedown performances against someone really good in years. Right. And that's with a lot of these guys. And so, yeah, when you put them in these big matches, and guess where the most fans are watching? Most fans are watching the most competitive matches, the really good ones. And so that's when we're seeing these issues. And I don't necessarily see, I don't see a huge issue with the product, probably besides the top stuff, where I think if you just called stalling, it would be fixed. So I don't really see a huge issue. I think if you just called stalling a little more top, the problem is fixed. And yes, certain guys are not as offensive, and people aren't going to be as big of fans of them. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with you. And the other thing I love that Tom Brand said, and I love this too, like, I want scoring. We all want scoring. I'm with you. It's just like, let's not overreact. Let's call stalling a little quicker on top. We're good. Like,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, I would.
I'm in with that.
I don't know if you can correlate like sport health necessarily with like the viewership numbers for like one duel or just like basically there's
Yes.
two major events in the sport. It's Iowa versus Penn State, and then there's
That's not true, Christian, because now, I mean, like Wisconsin, and I don't love them, but they did 5,500 fans versus Iowa. Iowa's selling out every match. There's
we just said Michigan State had a ton of people there about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, if you just did the number of college dual meets that outperformed the U.S. Open or World Team Trials, it's probably like 100 of them. I mean, there's a lot of more. Okay, a lot.
Probably.
So I mean, the number's big, right? So these college teams are figuring out how to promote their product and get good crowds in there. And so it is popular. The Big Tens will likely be either sold out or close to sold out. The Big 12s had a really good attendance last year. So there are a lot of these folk style matches. I would say obviously like Vegas, Midlands, and Scuffle, like they do struggle to kind of fill their stands, but the other ones are, and I think that's a factor of, not to get on this topic, it's a factor of they're an all day thing versus like a 2 hour time chunk.
2 hours,
yeah.
100%.
So
no, I don't disagree. Definitely more fan interest, especially in venue for collegiate wrestling. Okay.
So I mean, I'm with you guys. I mean, it would have been nice to see more scoring, no question. But I mean, not every sporting event's going to be an instant classic. So there were it is what it is. I mean, see what happens moving forward.
JD, I love this Facebook chat right now.
Yeah. What?
Someone said 1st to 10, and then you said terrible, some match going forever, and then someone else said fix Soriano and end that rule instantly. 1st to 10? Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be every days.
Literally days.
Maxine would still be riding Warner.
He'd still be
That was a hard ride, man.
Yeah.
I just looked at these Zagreb brackets.
Mm-hmm.
Did you realize that at 61, 65, Sebastian Rivera and Nick Lee wrestled first round?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It always happens.
That's crazy.
Like that.
Who won that?
Nick Lee killed him. And then Nick Lee got
13-2.
killed by Musakayev. So then Sebastian's out. But we had a lot of Americans because we had Nick Lee, Sebastian, Evan Harrison. I was American.
Well, Sebastian's not American in this tournament.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying. He's from New Jersey. He ain't no Puerto Rican. And then you had McKenna wrestled Fine Silver first round and put him out. Well, actually, he's back
another non-American in this bracket.
Stop.
Well, we had a bunch of people who live in America representing other countries, not at this tournament. So
listen,
to UWW, well, to UWW, they're not.
They
putting,
got a passport, bro. They got a passport. They're American.
They're the UWW is not like putting Americans versus Americans. It's literally.
What are your guys' thoughts on that? You probably talked about that before, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like anybody.
What's up?
I have no issues with it.
I have no issues. I love it. I love more.
I love it too.
Bracket.
I love it too. Why not?
This guy though.
I don't know. Do you want our best coaches coaching
not
people
our best,
to beat our Americans?
I'll give them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll give them all those dudes. They can take them all. Put them all in the world championships. I love it.
It's what if, I mean, it hasn't happened yet. It sort of happened with Miles Amin. When he qualified the weight, but how long before? Well, we'll see if a Jordan Burroughs, if the next Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake says, you know what, I don't want to go through this whole process. I'm Irish. I'm going to complete for. I love it.
Shane.
Yep, I love it.
That's even better than. I'd rather watch those guys in an Olympic final representing whoever than at the World Team Trial all day. Yeah,
that's crazy. Crazy. Take off that jacket. Take off that jacket right now, Shane. USA Wrestling. You don't like USA Wrestling? Go ahead. I'll have Sion make you a custom Irish wrestling jacket. You can wear that every day. We'll get it lined.
I'm going to give you a compliment right now. That was fantastic work that you just. That was quick and witty. That was funny. That was good.
All I can see is this. You're a spy basically. I don't know whose team anyone's on. I know what team I'm on.
86, Ishiguro. Japan never's got good big guys, but Ishiguro,
This guy's
I believe his
beaten.
name is.
He's beaten Mark Hall, Zahid Valencia, Miles Amin.
He just beat Miles, yeah.
He got some other. I think Nomad or Kozak.
He beat Amin and Valencia at this tournament.
Amin and yeah, he's beaten a bunch of Americans over the years. Oh, I think he's beaten Aaron Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Aaron Brooks at Junior World. He's really freaking good.
Ooh, Amin versus Valencia for third place, bottom bracket, baby.
That's been Amin, Valencia traditionally. So we'll see.
Yeah,
what happens this time.
So Mark Hall actually had some good wins. Valiev and Makoev, I know they're not the best ever, but those are solid wins. But then he got rolled up by Yazdani.
Yeah, he's a roller upper.
He beat Max Dean at 2019 U23s as well.
Whoa.
Damn.
Deep pull from JD.
Dang.
Musakayev teched Nick Lee with in the most casual.
It truly is the GOAT.
Like, he looked so dismissive. It was very disrespectful. First period tech fall from the GOAT.
Isn't it incredible when how good people are? That is insane.
Nick Lee is so good. And this guy,
he did not respect him.
You should just look at, if only thing you do is watch this match and look at Musakayev's face, it's like
he's displeased.
He's like, why do I? There. It's almost like, why do I even have to go through this song and dance against this person?
Stupid question here. Where do I watch it at? Is it on FloWrestling?
www.flowwrestling.org.
Hey, let's go.
The Father Kozak, who lost power, has been he's got the chop shop firing, so you should have some of the American archives there.
Okay, videos
for wrestling
filter. Fans. I need to filter Nick Lee. We'll go Nick Lee.
If you go to the doc, I linked the match.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it already.
Nice.
All right.
I'm ready to rumble.
He starts it with a 360 double.
You know what we haven't talked about, and we're already 27 minutes in the show. The Roman Bravo Young thing was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Great job. I want to say great job, obviously, the Bravo Young family of opening their house and discussing all the issues. That took a lot of courage, and that was amazing. And then obviously, Mark Bader, he's my favorite person ever. He's out here crushing some films. I love it.
Yeah, he did a great job producing it. Sean Connell, the editor, he's a guy. I mean, he's done some of our best stuff. He did Austin DeSanto, Vision Quest, Bad Blood, Burroughs Dake. He's a very, very talented guy.
Are these films winning awards?
Bad Cut won an award.
Bad Cut won an award.
How in the that Roman? I've said this forever, guys. I've always said this. Flo does an amazing job on these films. they are must see. These are so good. And I always the worst part about watching a Flo film is when you on this one it's like 55 minutes. So my mental clock is like, okay, I hate to do this, but I'm going to check to see how much time's left, and it says 2 minutes. It's the worst part of watching one of those films because you want more. Those are so good. And this one, I think, has got to be in the conversation for the best one ever. It was so good. This was so good. And Ben, you bring up a good point. I'm not afraid to say it. There's parts in that film that choke you up. When his mom's talking, that part that was really powerful. I got some history with people I love with addiction. We probably all do. Yeah. And when Mark asked her, like, how you doing? And that was a powerful, that was super. I was glad that made I thought that was really awesome. Seems like a very nice lady. And
but it took a lot of courage on her part because
absolutely it did. Yeah. That film was, and Roman Bravo Young is his perspective. And you talk about a guy that he's always, again, don't talk to him all the time, but just always like such a good guy, always in a good mood. At least when I talk to him, he's just his perspective for a 24-year-old. He's wise beyond his years based on his life experiences. That guy's gone through some, we talk about like tough stuff in life. Like that guy's, there's levels to tough too. And he's very tough, but yeah, check that. And that's being shown on Flow for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. People gotta watch it. It's remarkable.
Yeah, please do. Many of you have a great response after one day, and hopefully it's an inspiration. It certainly is an inspirational story. And man, so much credit to Roman for getting out of those situations, a lot of tough situations where a lot of people are still there, still kind of down in the muck and mire of being born into that kind of a situation and family dynamic in that town, etc. But then it's like, you think about, there's this it's really cheesy song by the band Alabama. But I love, my parents used to play it all the time. It's called Angels Among Us. It's about, there's basically there's people in the world that are they're literally angels. They're people that are just trying to help people. And the number of angels that Roman had in his life is incredible too. That he had
Great point.
That he had this granddad who, for whatever reason, was maniacally focused on making him as good as possible at wrestling and focused there. And he had this one wrestling coach that poured so much time into. And then he had this football coach that he lived with,
Yep.
and their parents.
The football coach was the wrestling coach, though.
Oh yeah,
He was
prior.
Prior.
That's a pretty crazy story too.
Previously, so Roman is just bouncing around, and all these people are just like, the idea of just taking a kid into your home that's not your own is like, that's a real commitment.
Yeah.
And that these people say, I'll take him. And all these people.
Kid. He's in high school.
You're taking a high school kid in that, and there's a lot that goes with that. And, so it starts with the credit for Roman, but then you just have to be so glad because wrestling gets this gift of Roman Bravo Young because all these people poured into him selflessly.
And the cool thing, Christian, is he recognizes that. That's another thing.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. And I was thinking that too before you were speaking about this. He had great people in his life that helped him, but he understands that. Like he knows where he came from. He knows that a lot of people helped him get to where he is. And I just, again, goes back to his perspective and his gratitude. It's very sincere. And man, and the best is yet to come for him. I mean, we all know how I feel about Bo Nickel and MMA.
Yeah.
And
you think
Roman Bravo Young to the mix. These guys are going to go down as all time. When it's all said and done, these guys are going to be global superstars. Book it. I'm telling you.
It's booked. I would say it's also cool because, you can see this with like a basketball or NFL players. Like you're hoping for a big payoff down the line. You help this kid. It's wrestling. There's no ulterior motives other than helping someone out of a bad situation, which is great. There's a lot of, I didn't know, one until Bader was telling me that he did 8th grade twice, and the one year he basically he just trained. He just trained and played video games for
wild.
For a year.
That was wild.
Yeah. What a year.
For real, right?
Seriously,
Just a 12-year-old dream right there.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, this is awesome. But how about after his true freshman year, he's like, I don't know if I want to go back. I don't want to do this. Total fish out of water. And I think he said Coach Cody not talked him back into it, but got him back out there. And then,
hey, that was another one. I wish I should have remembered in the Levi Haynes conversation. Is like first year RBY versus second year RBY, way different.
Way different. Well,
way different.
Yeah, he was different, but we never got to really see the full final.
The second year, the first year one took 8th place.
Yes.
But then the second year one was with the 3 seed. Like he was that year he was competitive with the best guys in the country.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if he
Yes.
would have won for sure. I don't know if he would have won because there's some other good guys, but he would have been right in there mixing.
That was 2020, right?
Rivera dominated him at Big Tens that year. Really, for me, he was ridden for a really long time.
He had that close match with Gross that year, correct? In Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think Gross beat him in Wisconsin, but it was really competitive.
Look, that's
was
where he
better.
walked up to the line. He goes, "I'm this close."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember for me,
That's
the one
right.
that
That was cool.
is the one that I remember really well is after 2019 season, he wrestled for the juniors and he lost oh my gosh, was it Gabe Tag or Jamie Hernandez maybe he lost to both of them at the tournament. So I was like, wow, I really, I thought he was going to be a lot better. I can't believe he lost to him. And and then the next year, he gets a lot better. So that year, let's see, he beat Ridge Lovett.
That was before Ridge was Ridge.
Yeah, that's true. But Ridge, he lost 6-5 to
his best win was
Gross.
DeSanto.
Yeah, then he beat DeSanto at Big Tens and he lost in the final. So he would have been like probably with the 2 or 3 going into NCAAs because Rivera would have beaten Gross on the other semi there. So he'd have been like the 2 or 3 going into NCAAs.
Let me throw this at you guys.
Toss it.
What expectations do you have with because he's going right into freestyle, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the assumption? He's going to freestyle for a year and a little bit, and then going to fighting after that.
I wouldn't be so sure that he's gonna do freestyle for a year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't think he knows yet.
Because I look at a guy like him, and you guys watch freestyle wrestling far more than I do, but I look at a guy like him, and there's probably nothing that I'd be like, no, he can't do that. That's not going to happen. Like I could see him doing something crazy.
Well, freestyle. He was always been good at freestyle. And stylistically, he's not a top dominator. So
I think it fits him perfect.
In the film, he said growing up, all he wrestled was freestyle, basically until middle school.
Make 57.
That I don't know.
I think listen to me.
Basically has to.
I think it's possible. I don't think he's bigger. I think Dayton Fix is bigger and made it.
That's true.
But I don't know. I think he's a factor at 57 for sure. Honestly, I think if he graduates, or when he, after this year, he's already graduated.
Well, he's got. The U.S. Open's only 5 weeks or 6 weeks after NCAAs.
He should go 61 this year. Get your feet wet.
Yeah.
Try. Can you get on the team, right? And then next year worry about 57 because your teammate's already there at 57. Thomas Gillen. They're like, they're boys and training partners, so you can at least push that down a year. But 2, like your preparation around making the Olympic team and making 57 is going to be, you're going to want a longer runway there to get down the right way, if it's possible. And that's a lot of speculation, but he's for sure a factor in freestyle if he makes the jump. But all I was going to say is I think he made his biggest jump. He made a good jump from his true freshman year to true sophomore year. But he was the 5 seed. He lost 7-2 to Rivera. It's unlikely he was
the 5? Who went through 4? Just out of my curiosity.
It was Sebastian, then
would Seth been above him because he beat him? But
Gross would have been above him.
Chaz Tucker, Mickey Philippi, and then
my gosh. Oh, those two ain't beating him. Stop.
Because Chaz Tucker was undefeated, right?
Chaz Tucker is a tough matchup for all those guys.
Yeah, because he was undefeated.
He was 31-0.
31-0. The guys.
Tucker, legend. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Man.
So anyway, I would say, he made the jump the next year, and that's when he won NCAAs. To me, the biggest jump. He's been improving, and he improved. You look at him from the year he won NCAAs. It was kind of a surprise when he beat Dayton. We were kind of like, wow, holy cow! And he beat him. He rode him, and then 2 stall points sent it into overtime. It wasn't like whereas this year or last year at NCAAs, it was a little more decisive, albeit extremely close.
It was shocking to hear him say, "Been like, I never had ridden anybody for 2 minutes, but as she said it, I had to."
When he said that too, that was wild. Like the first time you ride a guy for 2 minutes, that's crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
great film.
Hey, man, I just watched this Musa Kai Nick Lee match. That's about how I look at middle schoolers when I play around with them. That was not
I
good.
couldn't believe it.
That was so bad. He was like so just outright dismissive.
Yes.
But Nick Lee kind of wrestled a terrible strategy also. Like, I'm not saying there's any chance that Nick Lee beats him because Musa Kai is really good. But with someone who's got gas tank issues, I feel like you just got to put your hands on him and push him and pull him and take almost no risk in the beginning and try to get out of that first period. With a semi-close score.
Ben, did you just tell me that Ben, wait a minute. Did I just hear you say that the strategy is to go to this match with no intent to score?
No.
Well, there's an intent to score at the second period, but yes, no intent to score in the first period. What point were you trying to make there, Shane?
I'm just saying that I thought it was all about having 100% intent to score all the time. Sometimes
That's
it's
not
not
what I
about
said at all.
scoring.
No. I didn't say. I've never made that statement. I mean, I coach a lot of athletes. As a fan, that's what I would like to see, of course.
Okay.
And when a guy has a history of not scoring, I would like to be called for stalling, because that is. So if I were to tell a guy to go into a folk style wrestling match and not score for the first period, but just hand fight, I would also have an expectation that is against the rules, and he may get called for stalling. But I'll tell you a match that I coached a guy. Jack Ganos wrestled this kid named Luke Meckler. They're both in college now.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
He had, his best move was a down block go behind. So in the first match, Jack shot on him and he got scored. So in the second match, he was like, hey, we're just going to push and push and push. And listen, I have the intent. He's probably going to call for stalling. That's fine. We're trying to win the wrestling match.
Yep.
So as a coach and as a spectator, I may have two different views on the topic, but I also understand the rules of wrestling and what might happen.
Okay.
So it is stalling. But yeah, so Musakayev, I would just try to have someone push and hand fight, and I don't know, maybe he can go to second period. He kind of got scored on easy when Musakayev decided to go, though, huh?
Yes, he went.
Did you watch it, Shane?
I'll watch it when we're done here.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
I just marvel. Like I know exactly. I'll walk away going, this is, like,
yes,
insane to me how good these guys are. Like,
it really is.
The
I'm
levels
so good
that exist in wrestling, and where we think when we watch college wrestling, like the level we think those guys are at, and then there's just like Nick Lee was 2-time national champion, like so good, and
he's good at freestyle. I mean, it's
he's
not
good
like
at freestyle.
I mean,
he's not
very
new.
good. Yeah,
He's third at the Olympic trials in 2021.
Yeah, yep.
He's really good.
But he does kind of just keep shooting from a no tie type scenario, which I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
tactically, he kind of it kind of undermined him against Evan Henderson. That's why he didn't make Final X last year. He was kind of,
yeah, good point.
I think he was beating Evan pretty decisively, and I forget what happened. Evan made it happen, obviously, but yeah, that was kind of, that sticks out. But he's young in his freestyle career still to an extent, though not new to the game. But yeah, Musakayev, what a monster for sure. He's really good. But I would say, to Ben's point, it's like, all right, we watched Yanni Musakayev. Yanni was down 9-0, nearly teched, and then he came back and teched him. So there is an element of you just got to weather this early storm, at least try to give yourself a chance to win. And Ben's advocated for stalling in the past. We all have, because we've said you should not do any. You should get hit for stalling at least 3 times in the first period against Spencer Lee.
Sure.
You should, short of turning around and running and seeing if you're faster than him, that's basically the tactics you should be employing early against Spencer. Marco
Vespa would have went just hard. Get those arms out there, Marco. Get them out there. Don't let him have them.
Hey, here's a true story, guys. Marco Vespa. I mean, if I'm Marco Vespa, I'm letting everybody know this. Bottom line is, Marco Vespa wrestled Spencer Lee, and he won on his feet. He won.
Took him down. Never got taken down.
He never got taken down. Marco Vespa, he's got the takedown, and Spencer couldn't take him down.
Wait, why did Gary Steen not wrestle also? Because I was also perplexed by that.
I think it was just a little curveball to throw at. You think you're getting one guy. All right, no, you're getting this guy.
And I think they go, hey, you got a good cradle, you go for it.
Can you imagine if he would have locked? I mean, can you imagine that would have went down as not? And you guys know I'm always one of these guys like, it's not surprising or shocking, because that would have been absolutely mind blowing had he freaking found a way to. I mean, that would have been nuts if that would have happened.
You think Spencer had a little Piccinini flashback there for half a second before kicking out?
I mean, it was a really similar scenario, right?
Yeah, but Piccinini's at least. I mean, Piccinini's all American.
No, I'm just saying from a technical perspective.
Yeah,
it was a single leg turning off Shin Wizard to cradle, right? Wasn't that what happened the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I don't even know did Spencer even get to the Shin Wizard in this position. I felt like it was low single. And
he started to turn in and he jumped up right away.
He jumped so fast to it. Yeah, it would have been.
I mean, that place. I mean, honest to God, guys, I'm not kidding you. If that happens, the roof literally would have came off that place.
Yeah,
it would have came off. They would have been wrestling the rest of the duel in 20-degree weather, because that was. Yeah, that would have been the. And again, it didn't happen, but I think it's safe to say that would have been the biggest upset in wrestling history.
Tyler would have had the party of all parties.
Yeah. Our producer Tyler's been just trying to sound like a genius, predicting Spencer to lose every time. He's just gonna look foolish come late March, but
eventually he will look foolish.
Yes. So I would say, I had a question. Do you think with Penn State was that whole thing scripted? It's like shoot your low level right away.
So.
The foot's gonna be there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
It looked like he had a mission. It looked like he knew he knew what he wanted to do coming out there.
That's crazy.
Yes.
It's one of those things. What I like about it is it's like, and I've never been in a fight, but if I was going to be in a fight, I might get destroyed, but I am going to get the first punch. Like that, I will promise you, I'm going to get the first punch, and I better pray to hell it works. Because if it doesn't, you're going to kill me. And that's what it reminds. Like he threw the first punch. He threw the first punch, and I love that.
You got to think that's what every athlete's going to try against Spencer Lee, right? Single-legged. Because I had one little kid on my dual team he's pretty good, but he does like a shin wizard and turns in a lot and gets cradled. I'm like, oh, stop. But then I'm like, listen, hey, it happened to Spencer Lee. He's a little better than you, so it's it happens. But please
don't be too sad. Yeah. That was a wild moment for the duel. Probably the wildest by far. Okay.
Seriously. All right, we got to go somewhere else. Where are we going today?
We're going elsewhere.
Oh, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah, we love them.
Can I tell you a funny story? Funny story. I'm not going to out this person, but it just made me think of it when I just said that. I had a van for this duels. So there was 11 other people in my van, parents and children. And the first morning, Saturday morning, after the Iowa Penn State duel, we go down to the van, and there's a dad and a kid not there. And so the guy next to me, I'm gonna call him, and we got to leave. We got to go to this tournament. And he calls him, and he puts it on speaker. He goes, "Hey, where are you?" And he's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "You guys coming down here? We got to go." And he's like, "Where are we going?"
What? You didn't know?
Where are we going? It was great because the only thing we were doing all day was going to wrestling. That was the only thing. He just enjoyed his time during the Penn State Iowa duel meet too much.
Oh,
yeah, a little too much fun.
A little banged up.
He's like, "You ready? Where are we going?"
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I know where we need to go. We need to go to the Iowa versus Oklahoma rival. So Oklahoma and Oklahoma State wrestled Iowa State and Northern Iowa both this weekend.
Yes.
That's where we're going.
Wife swap.
Yeah. Right. Wife swap, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one.
Oh my goodness.
So have we talked about? Well, did we talk about the Swiderski donkey kicks yet?
No.
Oh, have you prepared a statement? Big 12 is Fight Club, guys. They're just fighting now. They're headbutting. They're dislocating elbows.
Yeah. Of all the things, I think this is the least bad because he donkey kicked him in the thigh. I don't know what he wanted to give him a Charlie horse or something. I mean, if he would have tried donkey kicking him in the face, I would have a little more problem. But I don't know why he was trying to donkey kick him in the leg. That was kind of weird.
Well, he's totally desperate.
Totally desperate. Totally unsportsmanlike. Casey Swiderski's got a little bit of temper, I think. I've noticed that in a few other matches.
He kind of tried to fight Real Woods.
Yeah, he probably needs to keep that under control before it gets him in a little more trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It was definitely the least egregious of the thing, but
yes,
simultaneously, it's the most obvious one too. Right?
Oh,
like a headbutt.
It was most obvious. Yes.
A headbutt, you can sort of disguise it, and the elbow thing, it's like, all right, but you're just straight kicking this dude in the ribs. It's like, all right, well, that's obviously something. John Smith, he definitely was not pleased with that call.
You could have at least faked and tried to like pull your other leg out so it kind of looked like you were doing something. I don't know.
Carter Young just ate those kicks though.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah.
He said, "I'm working up. I'm not worried about it. Just kick me."
Carter Young actually had a really good weekend. He's been someone that's been on a radar from maybe making a jump, and he beat Cale Happel and he beat Casey Swiderski. Those are two big wins for him.
Yeah, he's shown flashes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to see him kind of evolve to an all-American threat type of guy. It'd be good for Oklahoma State. Just be good. Just be a good thing all around. So yeah, very good weekend for him. Tough weekend for Swiderski.
I thought after that, John Smith got thrown out of the duel for a second when he just
walked away. I think he just I don't know what he was doing. Maybe just going to cool down or
probably.
But then he came back. Man, if he got kicked out for that, you can't be kicking these. I mean, yeah, that would be for all the things I've seen on the sidelines. It would have had to have said something really bad to get ejected because they kind of let everything go.
And then afterwards on his radio show, I saw yesterday, he kind of, I think we talked about it on Monday, but he said team points are dumb, start fining coaches.
Fining or kicking
Fining
them out?
coaches for what?
Instead of taking a team point, so if they're unsportsmanlike or whatever, loss of mat control or whatever.
But so is the fine coming out of their salary or is it coming from the athletic department? Because if it's coming from the athletic department, they might not care all that much.
True.
Yeah, I think if you get no, it's all part of the game. You shouldn't get fined for, oh wow, I stood on the mat. Which meanwhile, every other coach gets to stand on the mat. But if you're the wrong coach at the wrong time, you can't stand on the mat or whatever.
Yes.
Like, man,
I mean, what about something like this, guys? I never thought about. I've never really given this a whole lot of thought. What about like choice? Like, you know, when you're injured, then the other guy gets choice when you take injury time. What about something like that?
We
like,
talked
what about
it.
I hate.
You know, what about if a coach and they got to use it at any other point in the duel? Like, it's like
punishing individual athletes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. I just do the card system, warn them and kick them out, and that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be fine for me. You shouldn't impact.
That would actually be the worst for coaches because a lot of those coaches, and you actually brought this up on Monday, Christian. They want to control everything. So if they don't have the control and they have to, no, you have to go to the back and you can't be here. That's going to be like the ultimate punishment for them because they're so used to being in charge.
I could see a coach coming out and like they go to the back and they come out in like the team warm ups and stuff.
The
and like
Bobby Valentine, the old Mets manager Bobby Valentine putting on the the mustache and the glasses deal,
sneaking back in. I love it.
Yeah.
That would be probably the best result.
Yeah, that'd be the best result. And honestly, start doing it more often because then these coaches might behave themselves more, and then the rest would be afraid to call stalling more often, and then we're golden. It's great. It's best for the sport. Coaches, we're gonna start kicking you out because it's what's best for the sport. Sorry, deal with it.
Honestly, Caleb Pyles, he watches YouTube compilations all the time. It varies, but he goes on these streaks where he just watches MLB like ejection compilation videos on YouTube. He loves it. It is kind of entertaining to watch because you get ejected, and then after you get ejected,
the coaches lose their mind, Christian, when that happens.
Yeah, post ejection is when you really lay into them.
And now you don't see that anymore. You don't see. I mean, I'm a Braves fan. Bobby Cox been kicked out more than any other manager in baseball history. You go back to like the early '80s with Earl Weaver, the Orioles. I mean, some great Lou Piniella.
Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou was, oh gosh, throwing bases, and that stuff is so like, bring it back. Like, I mean, seriously, like this.
I want to see grown men throw a fit like a baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
That and when the bench is clear are the two most entertaining parts of baseball.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that stuff is.
Oh my goodness,
it's great.
All right, hey, how about 149? This Oklahoma kid, I watched his 2 matches versus Colin and then versus Pinheiro. I'm like, wow, he's kind of got some skills. I never really watched him before. John Wiley, right? Then I looked at his wrestle stat. He's not that good though.
Yeah,
so
we talked about this on Monday's show.
Figuring it out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Putting it together a little bit is John Wiley. So had a question here from Aaron McCullough about Iowa State. He said they may be regressing at 41-49. With that, they're and their third, fourth street guy at 125. Are they becoming long shots to make the podium as a team come March? Dual wins are one thing, but can they take the next big step come Big 12s and NCAAs? I think what you're seeing this year in college wrestling, there's a lot of teams, a lot of flawed teams that have a shot at the podium.
Oh, speaking of that, he's number 2 now?
MIZ?
ZOU. Let's go.
And honestly, they are one of the more complete teams in college wrestling with the fewest
It's got
holes.
a couple for sure things and then a bunch of, that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, you figure, and you feel good about Missouri because they have Keegan, right? You've got this anchor at 125. Whereas like a team like Nebraska, Peyton Robb's awesome and killing it, but we could reasonably see him fall off and lose to one of these 57 guys. At least that's kind of the prevailing thought. Rocky Elam, he looks like a surefire title contender right now, but he's
he's wrestled what 10 times. I know he's wrestled in the past week or
I
two.
feel like
he's
like
say there because
I'm
he's
trying.
taking 3rd and 4th, right, or 4th and 5th.
He's placed high. Yeah. What I was gonna say is Rocky is someone. Yeah, he's ranked number 1, but I kind of view him similarly to like a Peyton Robb. Could win for sure, but could see him 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and not be like mind blown.
It's kind of your Keegan point. 165 is pretty deep. Wouldn't be incredibly shocking to see Keegan get
I was just
going to
say that, JD. Let me throw this guy's patch because
losing the semis.
Keegan O'Toole 3rd or 4th? No.
Losing the semis? That is not that crazy. Yeah, no offense, Ben. I'm not predicting it, but
I agree with JD, and I love Keegan O'Toole, but I think Peyton. Like, here's a question: more likely to win, Peyton Robb or Keegan O'Toole? I might go Peyton Robb.
You're on drugs.
No.
Get off the show.
But it's based on what JD just said. It's based on what JD just said. You don't have a bunch of national champs at 157.
Who's he going to see in the semis, first of all?
You asked Tom Ryan. He should have lost last year in the semis.
Good.
No. First of all,
guys, we're talking about someone with 1 loss in their college career versus someone with 26 losses in their college career, inclling 10 last year.
I just don't. I guess my point is this: to dismiss Peyton Robb.
No, that's not your point. You guys picked Peyton Robb to be more likely to make the finals than Keegan O'Toole. That's what just happened.
You guys.
No, you and Spartano.
No, because you guys just
hit the like button on that tweet.
No, I'm with JD. What they did is, here's the point. What JD and I are saying is that
JD, he's speaking for you now.
That it's not like Peyton Robb is and Keegan O'Toole. That's an automatic. Like 165 is not an automatic for anybody. No way.
Guys, Peyton Robb's this is his 5th shot at it, and yes, he's having his best year. But I mean, guys, he's 19 and 10, 11 and 7, 20 and 6. The last 3 years. He doesn't
have 3 or 4 national champs in a weight class, Ben.
Okay, whatever, guys, whatever.
Well,
Ben, are you telling me?
Hold on, Shane. Hey, Shane. One of the national champions is him. Okay, so that one doesn't count. The other one just lost to Caliendo of North Dakota State. Okay, it's 2 guys right now that I think can win it. He is more likely to win than Peyton Robb. I think that's. I know the weights are not as good, but
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think that his Keegan O'Toole's path to a national title is "quote unquote" easier than Peyton Robb's?
It is.
I think Keegan O'Toole's a lot better than
it is because his skills are so good. It is for that reason. He doesn't have the.
He lost 10 matches last year. Peyton Robb lost 10 matches last year.
I get it. I just my only guys. I'm not. All I'm simply saying is, to me, it's not an automatic like. Yeah, Keegan O'Toole wins at 65 and Peyton Robb, anything can happen. Like
I'm not saying really that. Good. I'm not saying it's automatic. I'm not saying it's automatic.
That's what I thought you guys were saying.
There is a chance that Keegan O'Toole loses a match at NCAAs. He has a much higher probability to make the finals than, probably everyone but about 3 or 4 guys.
Yes.
In the NCAA.
We've talked about the lack of depth at 157, but you still got Peyton Robb could see Bryce Andonian in the semis. Somebody like that. He could see Willowan, Kendall Coleman.
Ed Scott pushed Peyton Robb to the brink. Ed Scott's got some L's this year. And that was this year. That's not last year. Mm-hmm. That was
pinned him last year.
Cliff Keen Las Vegas pinned him. Sort of pinned him. That was a very, very competitive match. And Peyton Robb's gonna start seeing those matches. Round
Levi Haynes going to be lurking in there.
Round 2, Peyton Robb could see a Brayton or a Caden G. Feller type of guy.
He won 2-0 over Brayton Lee and Trevor Chumbley.
Quarters now, he'd probably get someone like Willowan, Kendall Coleman. Semis, Humphreys, Andonian, finals. It's going to be a tough path for him. And he still has the remainder of his season. He is unquestionably having the best year of anyone at 157. And 165 is without a doubt a tougher weight class than 157. but Keegan, I think, is a little.
Yeah, I agree
Keegan
with that.
transcends.
You guys just triggered something where I thought I was like, oh, we just give it to him. It's like, man. So no, I think Peyton Robb is obviously wrestling really well. We'll see how it shakes out.
It's Keegan. It's Keegan or Carr.
Okay, I got a thought for you guys here. Does Jesse Mendez have a chance for Roman Bravo Young this weekend?
So it's interesting because Ragusin wrestled Roman pretty tough, took him down. Mendez beat Ragusin, so you could say, hey, I'll say this: it's going to be competitive. It's going to be more competitive than Roman's last match. I don't know if he can take him down. I don't think Roman is going to overlook Jesse Mendez and say, hey, this is a freshman. I think he knows he's going into a pretty challenging match here, and will prepare accordingly, as he always does. I just have a hard time seeing how he's going to take him down, because Ragusin, I believe, how did he get the takedown? It wasn't off a leg attack, kind of like a throw by or go behind.
Wasn't it a limp, and he caught the limp? Wasn't that what happened?
I don't remember. We'll have to go back.
I believe RBY tried limping out, and he caught it and scored off of that. Was what I think happened.
So maybe he did take him down off a leg attack. I think that's going to be the challenge. That's where I have a harder time visualizing Jesse getting in on a leg and finishing on Roman. You're going to have to take him down, because you're not going to ride him, and that's not even counting the.
Probably have to take him down a couple times.
Yeah, he may.
Yeah, one takedown isn't going to do it.
Well, the best path is probably you got to go. Period. It's got to be 1-1 third period, and you
are you really
late.
choosing down if you're Jesse? I think it's 1-0. I think you choose neutral, and then you let Roman get his escape, and then get a takedown at the end is probably how he would do it. Because I don't know if he's getting off bottom, guys.
Yeah. So Ragusin counters. It's a single from Roman. Whizzer from Ragusin. He just kind of pulls the arm out and runs behind-ish, sort of. And it's close if it's two. So that's not a counter takedown. Is probably not. Jesse's a great leg attacker. So
yeah,
he is fun to watch. Jesse Mendez that's fun to watch. I mean, that takedown he got on Foley to get the major with 3 seconds left. Man,
he's a beast. He's a beast. Avery. Oh, also the one guy that's keeping it, not to bring it back to 57, and then we can get back to 33. But
why are we going back to 57?
Because no one is talking about Austin O'Connor enough, and I think
why not?
He might be I think he hasn't done any of the major tournaments yet.
He took basically the first half of the season.
He missed some time.
Let's see.
But he's been killing people.
Best win is
that's why. Oof. But the thing is, when you say best win, it's like, okay, best win for Levi Haynes is different than Austin O'Connor, because Austin O'Connor's an NCAA champion. He's done it, right? We know he can go with the best guys.
Yes.
Austin O'Connor, number 5 in the Hodge rankings that just came out.
Yeah.
You're right, Christian.
He got a 91% bonus rate.
91% bonus.
0 good people on that
I
list.
know, but shouldn't you be bonusing people that are not highly ranked?
You should.
Yes,
but
that's what it should look like.
To win a Hodge trophy, you should also have to beat some good guys, but I guess. Who's the best guy in the ACC at 157?
Bryce Andonian.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna have some fun here.
We're gonna have some fun. So we'll see after ACCs where he stacks up. Back to 33. I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say other than, I think it's a long shot. And here's the thing with Penn State, and I kind of sort of made this point or talked around it. It's like every single duel we talk about. Well, there's a path. There's a way. Here's how the team can do it. It's these 5 matches or whatever. But they're just the path actually isn't there. It looks like it's there.
No, for Ohio State, no, they're losing. Come on,
it's an optical illusion. How is it any more or less realistic than even? They have winnable matches there as well, right?
Let's see. We're talking about Ohio State. So Ohio State's going to win.
25, 29.
They're going to win 25.
49.
33 is highly unlikely.
Yes.
41, probably not.
I mean, D'Amelio has literally never lost to Bo Bartlett.
That is kind of mind blowing. I don't know how that works.
He's like something in it's a lot.
In freestyle
High
and
school
folk style.
freestyle.
How does that happen?
Well, I mean, Dylan D'Amelio's not. I don't know. Matchup. It's a weird
He's not
matchup.
having a great year, guys. I mean, he's having a rough year. All right, now let me look this up.
He's struggling.
Okay, 49.
I think he's
They
maybe
should
a little
win
hurt.
that one. 57. They're unlikely. 65.
That'd be a good
sure.
match at 57, though.
74
I think
no.
57
84
would be
no.
good.
97 no.
I think
Heavyweight no.
57 was crazy close last year. I think Patty was winning late, and Levi got a takedown off a high crotch at the Edinburgh Open and won. So it was close.
Did he turn him late?
No, it was just a.
Okay.
Well, I don't think so. He definitely took him down super late in the match.
Man, what if D'Amelio has not been having a great year. 6 losses, no real good wins here.
Yeah.
Man, what if he beats Bo Bartlett?
Yeah, so he's lost this year to.
I mean, he started out in the top 10 preseason rankings. Now he's
He
all
got
the way
beat
down.
12-6 by Phileas. He lost to Josh Coderhant from Navy, Cale Happel, Joey Oliveri. This is not.
He got
great
hurt
at the Michigan State Open.
Michigan State Open.
Matt.
Yes.
and that just kind of set the tone. I don't know if it's lingering or what, but he has not been the same guy he was, I feel like, the past 2 years.
Yeah. So that remains a question, but D'Amelio could do it.
That's wild. So I mean, I don't. Do you think they have a chance at winning 74, 84, 97 or heavyweight? Because I think the answer to that is no. I think that the chances of winning 33 are I don't know, almost zero. So that's 5. And then I think Penn State still has a chance at
57,
41. I mean, 41. I guess they're the favorite, even though they never won. 57, 65.
Yeah. Ohio State can make it competitive, but the reality is every single year for Penn State, there's like ways to make it competitive, but they just find a way to win these matches. And just anytime you hit 74, it's just a gauntlet for any of these teams.
Yes.
Who has any success 74 up against these
Nobody.
guys? It's insane.
They're national champions.
Well, will Orndorff be back?
Yeah, I believe so.
They'll definitely need him.
They're going to need him just for bonus preservation.
Yeah. Yep.
Hogan Swensky might put the old lat drop on Kirkvliet.
That wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Would not be the worst idea. So that's it. I'm excited for that match. Ohio State. You're going. James Dean Rader will be on location.
Oh,
in
really?
Cavelli.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a fun place to watch wrestling. Have you done any duels there yet, Shane? Had to have, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great place.
It's cool.
Cool. Great place. Awesome wrestling room. I mean, that whole facility is awesome.
Yeah. Hey, how excited are you for the Iowa new facility? When is that going to be popping?
Yeah. When is that supposed to be done? Like another year? A little over a year?
I feel like not
Maybe?
next year, but the year after, maybe?
They just started construction at the beginning of this, like in September or October.
okay.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
that's going to be crazy.
So, and I imagine it'll take a while. It's quite the facility.
South Dakota State got a new one, too. I haven't been up there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's nice. It's nice looking?
I mean, I've only saw pictures and video, but yes, looks very large, and they got some sun. I thought we talked about this. They got some sun coming in during the day.
You need that.
Good.
You need that in Brookings.
Mm-hmm.
Let a little sun in. Okay, want to get some? Want to get to some?
Oh
questions?
my gosh! So Avery Gaming says D'Amelio is 8-0 against Bo.
That's
true?
decisive.
8-0.
I think it is something like that between
Are
high
they meant in
school
freestyle too, you're saying?
Yeah,
freestyle.
he
Yes.
last year.
Yes.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yep. Kind of crazy.
Man.
All right. Let's do some questions, guys.
I mean, all of
Let's
us,
do it.
that match could get interesting in a sec. If Ohio State can get off to a good start, when those could get interesting.
Yeah. They need it's like, can Malik get a bonus point? Can they start to get a little momentum there?
Malik's got to have I bet he has one of the lowest bonus rates in the country.
Let's look. Heinsoul, man. He's at
damn,
20%.
that's pretty damn low.
He's got a tech against Christian Tamiflu.
Oh, that's a Michigan guy.
And then Nick Babin, he majored, which you always
Nice.
forget that, Ben.
Solid.
And that's it. Those are the bonus point wins.
Nick Babin actually is ranked kind of high. He's number 23 on WrestleStats.
See?
Yeah, there we go.
He beat Tristan Lujan 3-2, who Gary Steen just beat. So that's not the best. This is going to be a decision. Almost certainly.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I think he beat Medley too, didn't he? Heinzelman?
Yeah, he beat him 4-3.
No.
He did. I wasn't going to bring it up, but it had to be brought up. All right. Next, let's do some questions.
Give me some tough ones today. I'm ready for some tough ones.
And from Andrew Spay, what's up with everyone talking about the NFL, even though the season ended a couple weeks ago? So Andrew Spay, he ends the NFL season every time the Giants are eliminated, or he just loses interest in the Giants. So in his mind, it's over. Sorry. Thoughts on Paris for Hodge?
R.I.P. Tom Brady too.
He's not dead. He retired.
Spencer would have to slip up for Paris to get the Hodge, but Paris is very good.
Yeah, Paris is good. I mean, do you think he's going to win the title, Ben?
I think there's a relatively high chance of that. I mean, I'd be making the favorite heavyweight right now.
Yeah.
Mason Paris number 2 in Hodge rankings.
Looks really good. Number 2, he's got the second highest dominant score, although Liras and Bravo Young have a higher bonus rate, but there's probably a lot of majors in there.
I've been really impressed with Liras this year.
Yeah, Liras
all year. He's
very good.
Killing people. He killed Carlson again. Or maybe I say again. I don't know if he's ever killed him.
Carlson's having maybe not nearly as good of a year as he was. I mean, that's my sometimes I say that and then I go look at their wrestle stat and I'm like, oh, I'm way off.
You are accurate in this position. Paris and Wyatt are on a pin-off right now. They both have 11 pins.
That's who's going to win the damn Hodge right there.
I mean, he already lost.
You guys don't have him in the top 15? Jade, who do I got to fire?
He lost
to Mason.
Rader.
He lost to Mason.
Put him in the ranking.
12-5.
Print
How
that,
many pins
JD.
does he have? 14?
One of Mason's few non-bonus point victories.
How many
Put him
pins?
in there.
Mason has 11 pins.
How many for
11.
11?
Yeah, they're in a pin-off.
11, let's see. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 2 tech falls. 6 and 2. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's got 11 pins and 3 tech falls. Put him in the damn rankings.
Guys, let me throw this question past you real quick. You get 3 guys to be an All-American just because you want to see him become an All-American.
Oh.
You got? I'll give you my 3. Hendrickson at Air Force.
Yeah.
Sam Barber. Love to see them get an All-American. I'd go with Bailey O'Reilly from Minnesota at 174. I would love it if he got on the stand. I would love to see that happen. I'd have to think about a third one.
No, you don't. Max Murin.
Oh, Murin.
Max Murin. It's got to be
guys, you want to know what the true story.
What?
10 seconds ago, I knew my 3. That's why I said 3 guys. And Murin was on my list, and I all of a sudden forget. Yeah, I'm getting old. Yeah, Max Murin. There's my 3. Hendrickson, O'Reilly, Murin. Who do you guys got? Just 3 guys. Just love to see him for whatever reason make the stand.
Peyton Mako.
Okay.
Peyton
And I just
Mako.
picked Josh Otto and Jack Ganos.
Who do I want to
Only
see on the
AWA
podium?
guys. Weston Wickman.
Who? Yeah, I don't know. I may have to table this. I really want to put some thought into this.
Noah Certain. Missouri guys and AWA guys, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know.
Clayton Whiting.
The 3-time round of 12 type of dudes, you just want to see them just get on the podium. I would like to see it for Max. I think that would be cool. I mean, to go to Andy Smith, but it's only a matter of time anyways. So.
Oh my God. Did he just get whooped by Nino?
Yeah. Nino is really having a good year.
Did we talk
Guys,
about
I get 4. I get 4 guys. Jack Medley.
No.
Medley's on 2.
No.
Mount Rushmore.
You have to kick someone off.
Mount Rushmore.
All right, you just kicked Murin off. Murin's back in the round of 12 thanks to Shane.
Murin's getting on.
No,
Murin's
back
on.
around 12 because you didn't want him on there.
No.
Putting this one on you.
I want to look at Nino's year. I feel like he's been.
He lost to he had lost to someone kind of good.
He's undefeated.
Nino's undefeated?
Yeah, he beat up Beard 10-4. He beat Bronigal.
Nino's undefeated? Are you kidding me?
10-0.
That was
So he
like
had
the
one
week. That was
loss.
like the weekend or the weekend after he beat Dean.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
Beard
I
beat,
swear.
or the weekend before Beard beat Dean.
Yeah. And that's when we were like, this kind of, because I remember going into that week, we're like, this match kind of lost a little bit of its luster because Beard just lost to Nino. And then frickin'.
Wow, I could have swore he had one loss.
He beat Jackson Smith 8-2. He beat Beard 10-4. He beat
Nichols
Bronigal
is
in overtime. He beat Batista. He beat the GOAT Andy Smith 3-1.
You guys only have him at 4, though. Max Dean's got 2 losses, and you got
Kind
Nino
of
at 4.
hating. He's got the common opponent win over Dean. Kind of feels like you're in the bag for Penn State here.
Man, what's going on over there?
Big Ten homers.
Big 10
Listen,
homers.
you
Warner all
can
the way down
stand up
10.
to Kale. Just rank. He's not going to get mad if you rank Nino ahead of him.
I think that's kind of what
I mean,
you
he
gotta
lost to
do
Ethan
here.
Laird. Maxine lost to Ethan Laird and Michael Beard. This year has to matter. He has 2 losses.
Gotta matter.
It's got
I
to
met
matter.
Nino in Ann Arbor this past summer. He's a good guy.
He's
And him
a
and his
cool
dad.
dude. I like Nino a lot too.
Yeah,
I had never
really
met him
good guy.
until
I think
we.
Nino goes to number 2, guys.
Yeah, let's make the change right now.
Yeah,
Kozak,
he
just like
probably,
that.
Flip it.
based on that, he probably should be.
Kozak doesn't have power, so you got to do it. You got to do it on the air.
Do the right thing, JD.
Do the right
Do
thing.
it. Who's Pittsburgh got left? Oh, guys, big match this weekend.
Trumbull.
Nope, Nino and Younger.
Ooh.
Nice.
Hasn't Trumbull had Nino's number? That was one of the guys he keeps losing to, right?
Yeah, he did beat him.
I feel like he can't beat him.
He's a beast
no,
too.
I'm pretty sure he has. Trumbull.
Let's see.
He's beaten
Trumbull.
him.
Oh,
He
he
beat
beat
him-
him at ACCs,
He beat him last time.
but he
they
lost
wrestled.
to him at the dual meet last year.
Yeah, he couldn't get off
Yeah.
bottom, and then he beat him.
Yes.
That was like Trumbull's breakout. He threw him to his
Yes.
back, I think, like over under body lock, and that's where
And
like
Trumbull beat him 2021 season as well.
That's the coming out party because Nick
Yes.
Reenan's like, oh, I'm coming back, and then Isaac Trumbull beats Nino Bonacorsi. He's like, oh, Nick Reenan's not
Yes.
even gonna start. So yeah,
Yeah, that was wild.
I think you need to put a little more respect on Nino's name. That's all I can say.
I agree.
We'll see. Maybe after this weekend.
Oh, we'll see. What else you gotta do?
Yeah.
Gotta be Younger.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Gotta beat Younger.
Nino's a tough out.
If he wins NCAAs, we'll move him to number 2.
It would have helped if he would have made the podium last year at NCAAs.
Okay. Well,
And there should be a special flow show the week after NCAs if he wins it, an official show moving him to number 2.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it would have helped, but you know what? That's why this year is this year, and last year was last year,
And he has 1 win over Michael Beard, who he's right above this year.
but Michael Beard has beaten Max Dean.
18.
Max Dean has lost to Ethan Laird and Michael Beard. That is enough to fall out of the number 2 spot.
I would agree.
Yeah, this one's really not even. This
Hell,
one's really not even hard to
this is
decide. I mean, he
tough.
should be ranked number 2.
It's looking at wins.
It's tough. Well, wins and losses should be looked at equally.
Yeah.
If you have a
I
good
agree.
win, that's a thing. If you have bad losses, that's also a thing. And those are the 2 contributing factors in a ranking. And you can't be like, no, just who you beat, because that's overly...
If you took both those guys and didn't have a name on them and just looked at everything, it'd be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Would.
I don't know what Keith Gavin did
I mean,
to JD
you
Rader and John
can't just
Kozak.
ignore last year either, though.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
It's largely in the rear view.
So at what point would he have gone up to number 1 or 2?
I think when Dean lost twice.
At the point
Yeah.
where he beat Michael Beard, probably at that day when Beard Dean had the weekend where he lost to Laird and Beard, he should have dropped more than a spot.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's got, and then you climb back up, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be equitable. I think yeah, we're a little too hanging on to the NCAA last year. I know that's like it's good, but it's not like Nino doesn't have NCAA accolades either. He's an NCAA finalist, right? I know he didn't do it last year, but if we're looking back 1 year, we can look back 2. Why not? All right, moving on. There's a lot of rules ideas. Any significance to Pat Glory Wrestling 133 again? Asks Mike Jarman 119.
For real, what's he doing?
I don't know, man. This is a mess. I don't think that is there significance. I don't think so. I think, and Coach Ayers sort of said like, hey, yeah, he may weigh in at a low 33 to keep his certification and blah blah. I think he's still going 125, but at this point, you can't rule anything out. But I think he said, to our own JD Rader, he's staying. He will be 125 for postseason NCAAs. Done deal. That's the plan. So I think any of the high weigh-ins are not evidence that
it's
he's
just for the extra 2 or 3 pounds.
Just those extra 2 or 3 pounds. They go a long way.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Weird.
This is a good question, and I wanted time for this one. I know there are several Penn State wrestlers with, quote, better credentials, but do you think Taylor is the best wrestler in the Cale era? In some ways, they have better credentials, but
why did it?
He's also
more national titles, or what? Why?
Yeah,
how do they have better credentials?
Yeah, that. I mean, he has 2. A lot of them have 3.
That's a pretty simplistic notion of what credentials.
Very simplistic. Well, that's why he put it in quotations. But I mean, to be fair, Zane Rutherford had 3 undefeated seasons. That's pretty. That's significant, right?
And so obviously the question: are we limiting it to folk style credentials exclusively? Yeah. And then when you say best, are we talking about the pinnacle of their skill set, or what are we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's why that's why the question exists, right? They wanted to hear our position. I think that he is the best wrestler Cale's ever had, and
so at the pinnacle.
At the pinnacle, I mean, at height of his powers, he was fantastic. Now, Kyle Dake was better. Kyle Dake is one of the greatest of all time, but I think it's a couple things. One, he got it rolling. What him and Ed and Quentin did, but he was driving a lot of that for those 4 years, and then to go beyond, and then to add world and Olympic accolades beyond that. I think he is the face of the program that Penn State would put forth, and I think he is probably the best wrestler. I think there's a lot of arguments you could make for during their time as a Penn State wrestler. Was Zane maybe more dominant? Yeah.
But Zane never had quite the opposition of Dake, to put those blemishes on his record, obviously, where I think you could argue that, when David had the seasons without that level of opponent, he just mauled everyone.
Yes.
And you can't ignore what he's done after college. It's just, you can try to, you just can't. I mean, when you think about Cale Sanderson and Penn State, at least for me, the first guy that comes to mind is David.
Yeah. I think it's just impact, but also I think if you look at his accolades, they're pretty tough to.
I'd go nickel for me too. Bo would be number 2 for me.
Really? Can we not do this debate, because we've done this debate so many times?
We have over who's the best Penn State wrestler?
Yes, we did this multiple times.
Okay.
Basically got us through second half of 2020.
Basically got us through Corona.
Did Ben ever hit a freshman wall during his redshirt season? If so,
that's a great question.
No, I mean, I didn't hit a wall because I started out terrible. So there was not like I was on fire and then I hit a wall.
Started with the wall. You began with the wall.
I started. I was just climbing the wall from the beginning, and then at some point I did get over the wall. But yeah, there was no it wasn't like I ran a mile and hit a wall. It was just like the wall was there. I was getting my ass kicked every day by guys in the room.
So how did you deal with that, Ben? Like, looking back on it now, what did you do?
Just kept showing up. Got frustrated sometimes. Got more mature, dedicated to strength and conditioning, and created the funk. Yeah.
So just create something if you're struggling, guys. Just invent it.
I mean, honestly, well, besides like creating something out of scratch, you can also just add to your own style based on what other people are doing, right? And that was kind of the start of scrambling, was like pulling pieces from other people. That was definitely the start, got Far Ankle from Mike Ironman, watched some other film, and just like started pulling pieces from people.
What was your low point, Ben?
Low point?
Low point.
I mean, I lost 10 matches in like 6 weeks. So from like the beginning of November to Midland, I went 1-2 at Midlands. So between the beginning of November and Midlands, I lost 10 matches.
Tell you Ben's high point. It was this picture Richard sent.
Yeah,
It wasn't my freshman year though.
I know. I'm saying this was your high point.
Year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good year. Has there ever been a college wrestler with hair that immaculate? I think the answer is no.
How long did it take to get it like that?
I didn't cut my hair for 18 months or 2 years or something like that.
Wow.
Long time.
How puffy could you get it right now?
What?
How puffy could it be right now?
Not very. It's not very. I hate having it long now. It's just yeah.
One more time.
So
one more time
work.
for the.
I will not do it one more time.
Yeah, you would. If you lost a bet, you would do it.
refuse.
You refuse.
Afro bet?
You won't do an Afro bet? What if we got to exchange your tasing for an Afro bet? I think the people would appreciate that.
No.
Your kids would love it.
I might take the tasing. I might take it.
What if I said, okay, here's the deal.
The tasting only lasts 30 seconds. That Afro lasts in a year and a half to grow it out.
Here's what my ask would be. 6 months from now, no cutting. One good puff on radio in a picture.
One good pick. You really got to pick it out.
Boom.
Oh my gosh.
Would you consider it?
I'll think about it.
All right.
Ben,
He's considering it.
Did you meet Amy with that hair?
Probably wasn't quite that long. It was pretty long at that point, though. Yes. When I met her.
Awesome.
Yep. Oh yeah.
From El Fibre, JP, Christian, will you be in Columbus on Friday? If so, too, will you have a cup this time for the beer I'm getting at Cavelli? This must be the person who got me a beer last time at Cavelli. I did not drink that beer. I gave it actually to a great man, Jesse Mendez's dad, Hector. But I know this guy would probably gladly drink a nice beer before.
I enjoy one from time to time.
He's from Iowa. He won't have a cup. He'll just drink it straight out the can, like a real
Right
man.
out of the tap.
Yeah. But thank you. It was nice meeting you. People were very nice at Ohio State. Where's another
questions in the doc? Oh my goodness.
There's a lot. I like them though. There's a lot of good ones I've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about growing the interest in wrestling circles around rules and format changes to NCAA. How about youth wrestling? What challenges exist at the youth level that make it difficult to attract kids to wrestling, and how can we get better?
Oh my God, we got 2 minutes. This is like an hour-long question.
Let's maybe table that one.
All right, we're tabling it because it's impossible to
Let's
answer.
let's even table it till after the season. That's like an off-season topic where we can dedicate an entire show to it. Don't you think?
Okay.
We'll help this guy out. Where can he find Mental Mondays from Eric?
It's on. I do it on the AWA Facebook page. That's the only place that I do it. So all you gotta do is go there. I just did one yesterday on why kids have lack of effort. It was kind of a follow up from last week. Gave my ideas on that. I have them right here if you want to hear them, and you can go listen to the full thing. But number one, kids don't actually believe in themselves that they can do it. Number two, they actually don't know what hard work is. Like they don't know how to ramp up the intensity level. So you got to show them. Kids don't like it. They don't want to do it. And their parents are forcing them to do it, which that's a discussion they need to have with their parents, not your job. And then number four, sometimes doing the easier thing is just easier than doing the hard thing. And we all know that in life because there's probably something in the last couple of days that you guys could have done that was harder and maybe would have made your lives better, and you chose not to do it for whatever reason, probably because it was hard.
Amen.
So those would be the 4 reasons I go.
I do love those Mental Mondays. I mean, those are awesome. I love them.
Yeah.
Ben does a great job with those things.
So
Don't,
actually, you know,
don't
crazy thing
swear
is,
on
Ben-
them. I want to show them to my son, but why do you always have to swear? You don't have to swear.
Christian, actually, that's my wife's point. I shouldn't swear, but I don't say F words. It's like a damn or a shit or something like that. It's no big deal.
The S word is your absolute favorite. You say it literally every show. Every show.
Great word.
It's not necessary.
Number
Not
one.
necessary.
Number one. Great
Listen,
word.
I'm challenging you. Get it to a broader audience. I want to show Caleb, but it's like, well, Ben's just gonna swear.
Caleb's
doesn't
12. You know what those middle school kids are saying? For a time, I don't want to wreck you. The middle school kids are saying some wild stuff. Boy.
I know.
Yeah.
Caleb, listen,
Right.
that's not my kid. He's a different sort
I
of
would
cat.
say this though. I mean, I like those mental Mondays because I like you just said, Ben. I mean, I literally apply those things. I don't have anybody that's a youth wrestler. I watch it for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So number one, we talked about in the beginning of the show with the Roman Bravo Young and the angel concept that you had, Christian. But that's kind of like, if you think about what a coach should do, and I think what the main point of what a coach should do is get young athletes to believe in themselves, and that they can do it. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Well, with that, all you angels, thank you for listening. A lot of coaches listen to this show. You guys can be angels to these kids. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better. It took me about a half hour to get all the ice off my freaking car. If you don't have power, I hope you get it back. But none of you guys are probably not many Texas listeners.
Stay safe in Texas.
We'll stay
Shane,
safe.
tell them how wimpy they are for their 40-degree weather where they get scared.
Yeah. Wimpy power outages. All right, Ben. All right, Shane. Thanks so
Hold
much.
on, I'm looking up there. It's 32 degrees. Barely even freezing.
Barely
Whiners.
freezing.
It's going to be 72 degrees next week, you little babies.
Haha. Joke's on you, Wisconsin Ben. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Wednesday. Bye.
See ya.